Let me tell you something that most people will never say out loud. Weakness is not natural. It's not your identity. It's not who you were born to be. It's a disease that spreads through your mind, your habits, your routines, until it eats away every ounce of power you once had. You were born strong, you were born hungry, but the world taught you to settle. It told you to be comfortable, to be average, to be realistic. And the more you listened, the sicker you became. Society has trained you to accept weakness as normal. It rewards mediocrity. It praises people for doing the bare minimum. It gives you participation trophies and tells you that trying is enough. But trying isn't enough. You either win or you lose. You either evolve or you decay. Weakness is decay, and it's killing your potential every single day you let it live. The truth is, you already know where your weakness lies. You feel it when you wake up and hit snooze. You feel it when you scroll your phone instead of working. You feel it when you say, I'll start tomorrow. That hesitation, that delay, that avoidance, it's the virus inside you. And the worst part, most people don't even try to cure it. They build a home for it. They defend it. They excuse it. They say things like, I'm just tired, I'm stressed, or I'm not in the mood. That's your weakness speaking for you. You've given it a voice, and now it controls your life. You've made your weakness your identity. You've got to understand this: the world doesn't care about how you feel. It doesn't care about your excuses, your past, your pain. It only cares about what you produce. Weakness won't pay your bills. Weakness won't build your empire. Weakness won't get you respect. So if you don't kill it, it will kill your chances at greatness. That's how real it is. This is not about being harsh. This is about being honest. You cannot keep feeding the parts of yourself that make you lose. Every time you choose comfort, you're feeding weakness. Every time you choose distraction, you're feeding weakness. Every time you let fear stop you, you're feeding weakness. You have to become the cure. You have to be your own medicine. That means discipline. That means action even when you don't feel like it. That means doing what needs to be done, not what feels easy. Weakness thrives on laziness and comfort. It dies in the face of consistency and effort. The cure is simple, but it's not easy. You kill weakness every time you wake up when you don't want to. You kill weakness every time you push through pain. You kill weakness every time you take responsibility instead of blaming the world. Every small act of discipline is an attack against the disease inside you. People think the enemy is out there, the system, the haters, the economy. But the real enemy is in the mirror. The man staring back at you every morning decides whether you win or lose. That man holds both your destruction and your redemption. You don't need anyone else to save you. You need to save yourself from yourself. Because the truth is, if you don't kill the weak version of you, the world will. It will embarrass you, it will outwork you, it will ignore you. The strong will dominate while the weak make excuses. And life doesn't reward excuses, it rewards execution. The reason most men never rise is because they've accepted weakness as part of who they are. They say things like, that's just me. No, it's not you, it's your infection speaking. And the longer you identify with it, the harder it becomes to remove it. You've got to rip it out, even if it hurts. Especially if it hurts. Growth always hurts. Discipline always hurts. But that pain is the medicine you need. The only way to kill weakness is to suffer deliberately until you become immune to it. The gym, the grind, the sleepless nights, those aren't punishments. They're the cure. Every drop of sweat, every ounce of discomfort is you burning out the virus that's been holding you back. Understand something deeper. Weakness doesn't die overnight. It's not one battle, it's a war against your comfort, your habits, your emotions. Every day you wake up, you're either feeding your strength or feeding your weakness. There is no neutral. Every choice, every thought, every action is moving you in one direction. And the moment you stop fighting, the disease starts growing again. That's why the cure must be relentless. It's not about motivation, it's about mastery. Weakness loses when you build systems that make quitting impossible. When your mind becomes so sharp that even on your worst day, you still execute. That's the level of self-control that builds wealth, power, and respect. You want to know why only a small percentage of men ever become truly successful? It's not luck, it's not talent. It's because they were willing to suffer. They were willing to go to war with their own weakness. While everyone else was busy complaining, they were curing themselves through discipline. They turned pain into progress and progress into power. That's why they walk differently, talk differently, and move differently. They've burned the weakness out of their system. And you can do the same. You just need to stop negotiating with weakness. Stop giving it time, stop giving it excuses, stop giving it space to breathe. Because weakness can't survive without your permission. It's starving for your attention, and the moment you stop feeding it, it dies. Your body, your mind, your energy, all of it changes the moment you make that decision. You start to move like someone who's in control. You start to think like someone who's powerful. You start to live like someone who's already rich, not just in money, but in mindset. Because real wealth starts inside. It starts when you cure the disease that's been draining your potential for years. Your emotions are the most deceptive force in your life. They lie to you every single day. They whisper things like, rest today. You deserve a break. You'll start tomorrow. They convince you that comfort equals happiness, but what they're really doing is chaining you to mediocrity. Every time you obey your emotions, you give up power. Every time you let them make decisions for you, you delay your destiny. That's why most people stay average. They live their entire lives as slaves to how they feel. The successful man, the disciplined man, he does what must be done regardless of his emotions. He doesn't ask himself if he feels like it. He just does it. You think the men who built empires woke up every day full of motivation and joy. No, they woke up tired, stressed, and sometimes doubting themselves, but they acted anyway. Discipline is not about feeling good. It's about doing what's required. You'll never reach greatness until you learn to move without emotion, until your actions are guided by commitment, not comfort. Most of you wait for the perfect mood to start. You say things like, once I'm ready, or when I feel inspired, but that day never comes. Because emotions are inconsistent, they change like the weather. One day you're confident, the next you're drained. One day you're focused, the next you're lost. If your progress depends on how you feel, you'll never achieve anything real. Discipline is the weapon that separates men who dream from men who do. It's the invisible force that keeps you moving when everyone else quits. It's what keeps you training when your body aches, working when you're exhausted, learning when your mind wants to rest. That's what builds wealth. That's what builds power. Because every act of discipline is a deposit into your future success. The man who controls his emotions controls his life. The man who doesn't, he gets controlled by everything. You can see it in society, men addicted to comfort, addicted to distraction, addicted to their moods. One bad day and they lose focus. One failure and they give up. One piece of criticism and they break. You must become unbreakable. You must train your mind to move even when your emotions scream no. You need to develop the kind of mental callus that allows you to act through pain, through boredom, through fear. That's what separates warriors from the weak. Discipline is the armor you wear into battle every day. Without it, your emotions will destroy you. They'll trick you into believing that doing less is self-care, that skipping effort is balance. But balance without progress is failure dressed in comfort. Think about how many opportunities you've lost because you didn't feel like acting. Think about how many dreams you've delayed because you were waiting to feel ready. You didn't lack potential, you lacked control. The world is filled with talented people who never built anything because they were emotionally weak. They let laziness disguise itself as logic. They let fear disguise itself as planning. They kept waiting for the right time, but discipline doesn't wait. Discipline acts. It moves forward even when your emotions beg you to stop. The truth is, your emotions are children. They throw tantrums. They seek comfort. They crave pleasure. Discipline is the parent that keeps them in line. You must be that parent to yourself. You must tell your emotions, I don't care how you feel. We're doing this anyway. That's the language of success. That's how you reprogram your mind for power. Every time you disobey your emotions, you grow stronger. Every time you act despite discomfort, you build momentum. And momentum is what creates transformation. Understand something. Consistency beats intensity. Anyone can work hard when they're motivated, but the man who keeps working when he's not, that's the man who becomes unstoppable. That's the man who builds wealth, respect, and legacy. Because discipline compounds. Every day you act without emotion, you're stacking bricks toward your empire. Every morning you wake up and execute, you're separating yourself from the 99% who sleep in and scroll through their phones. They'll call you obsessive, they'll call you cold, they'll say you've changed. But what they're really saying is that you've gained control. You've stopped being a puppet of your feelings. Discipline is not about removing emotion, it's about mastering it. You can feel tired, but still move. You can feel fear, but still act. You can feel doubt, but still push forward. That's strength. The strongest men in history felt everything you feel, but they moved anyway. The difference is they didn't negotiate with their emotions. They used them as fuel. Anger became drive. Frustration became focus. Pain became purpose. That's how you turn emotions into tools instead of prisons. And here's the thing most won't admit: discipline is freedom. The man who lives by emotion is trapped in chaos. His days are unpredictable, his goals are uncertain, his confidence depends on his mood. But the disciplined man wakes up knowing exactly what to do. His structure gives him peace. His control gives him certainty. When you no longer need motivation to act, you become powerful beyond measure. Because nothing can stop you, not your mood, not your circumstances, not your emotions. When you replace emotion with discipline, you start living on your own terms. You stop chasing short-term pleasure and start creating long-term power. You stop reacting to life and start commanding it. That's when you truly begin to build unstoppable wealth, not just financial wealth, but wealth in energy, control, and mastery. Because discipline doesn't just build money, it builds men. And once you become a man of discipline, you'll never bow to emotion again. Comfort is the most dangerous drug in the world, and the worst part is it's legal, cheap, and everyone's addicted to it. It's the silent killer of potential. You think your biggest enemy is fear, failure, or rejection, but it's not. It's comfort, because comfort doesn't look like danger. It feels good. It feels safe. It tells you everything's okay while it slowly rots your ambition from the inside. Comfort whispers, you've done enough, when you've barely started. It convinces you that staying the same is peace, when in reality, it's death in disguise. Every great man in history had to escape comfort to become who he was meant to be. Every weak man you know stayed there and called it happiness. Look around you, most people are trapped in the comfort cycle. They work just enough to survive, not to grow. They celebrate weekends like victories when they've done nothing to win. They chase temporary pleasure and call it a lifestyle. Comfort is their cage, and they decorate it with distractions so they don't have to face the truth. The truth that deep down, they hate the life they're living, but they're too comfortable to change it. Comfort tells you you're fine. But fine is the enemy of greatness. You don't need to be fine, you need to be exceptional. You need to wake up every day hungry for progress, not satisfaction. Because satisfaction is what keeps you average. Hunger is what turns you unstoppable. The comfort trap is clever. It doesn't hit you all at once. It kills your drive slowly. It starts when you skip one workout, one study session, one opportunity. You tell yourself, just this once. Then it becomes twice, then a habit, then a lifestyle. Before you know it, you've built a routine around avoiding effort. You convince yourself that you're resting, that you're being patient, but in reality, you're wasting time. You're choosing to be mediocre because it feels easy. Comfort will always offer you the easy way out, and every time you take it, you lose a piece of your potential. Understand this: comfort and greatness can't coexist. You can't chase both pleasure and power. You must pick one. The man who chooses comfort will always serve the man who chooses struggle. The man who avoids pain will always bow to the man who masters it. The reason most people will never be rich, never be respected, never be powerful is because they're allergic to discomfort. They'll say, I want success, but they avoid everything that creates it. They don't want early mornings, they don't want long nights, they don't want failure, pressure, or risk. They want the reward without the sacrifice, the success without the suffering. But life doesn't work like that. You have to rewire your brain to see discomfort as opportunity. Every time something feels hard, that's your chance to grow. Every time you feel resistance, that's your signal that you're leveling up. Weak men run from discomfort. Strong men run toward it. You have to become addicted to that feeling of struggle, because that's where your transformation happens. The gym hurts, but it builds strength. The grind is tiring, but it builds success. The discipline is lonely, but it builds legacy. Every moment of discomfort is shaping you into someone capable of handling more power, more pressure, and more responsibility. Most people live their lives avoiding pain and chasing pleasure. That's why they never change. They use comfort as a shield to protect their ego. They say things like, "I'm happy with what I have," when deep down they know they're lying. You can't fool your soul. You can lie to everyone else, but you can't lie to yourself. You know when you're wasting your potential. You know when you're not giving everything. You know when comfort has turned you into a coward. The worst prison in life is not built with bars, it's built with comfort. And every day you choose to stay inside it, you dig your own grave a little deeper. Escaping comfort means embracing struggle. It means doing what's hard when no one's watching. It means pushing yourself when your body screams stop. It means saying no to pleasure that doesn't serve your purpose. The truth is, you'll never escape comfort by thinking you escape it by acting. The second you start doing what scares you, you break free from the cage. Comfort loses its power the moment you step into discomfort willingly. That's how winners are built. That's how wealth is created. The man who seeks comfort becomes dependent on it, but the man who seeks struggle becomes dominant because he's no longer controlled by his environment. You've got to realize something powerful. Comfort is not peace. Real peace comes from progress. You'll never feel truly fulfilled until you know you're becoming more than you were yesterday. The moments you remember in life aren't the easy ones, they're the hard ones you survived. The times you pushed through pain, the times you worked when everyone else quit, the times you suffered and came out stronger. Those are the moments that define you. Comfort will never give you that feeling. It will only numb you. And when you live numb, you stop living. You have to make discomfort your new normal. Wake up earlier than you want to. Work longer than you think you can. Learn skills that intimidate you. Speak up when it's easier to stay quiet. Chase goals that scare you. That's how you escape the comfort trap, by proving to yourself that pain doesn't control you. The man who can endure anything can achieve everything. When you stop needing comfort, you become unstoppable, because then the world has nothing to use against you. Comfort can't tempt you, fear can't control you, and failure can't stop you. You become a man who thrives in chaos, who finds peace in struggle, who grows in pain. That's how you escape comfort, not by running from hardship, but by mastering it. Most people chase money their entire lives, and that's exactly why they never have it. They run after it like desperate beggars, chasing the symptom instead of understanding the cause. Money is not the source of power, it's the reflection of it. It's energy. It moves toward those who know how to control themselves, how to command attention, how to dominate their environment. The truth is simple: money follows power. The moment you become powerful in your mindset, in your habits, in your presence, wealth becomes a natural result. You don't need to chase it, it starts chasing you. But weak men never understand this. They think money will fix their weakness, when in reality, their weakness is the reason they're broke. Power begins in the mind. It's not about muscles. It's not about shouting. It's about control of your thoughts, your time, your emotions, and your focus. A powerful man doesn't waste energy. He doesn't scatter his attention. Every action he takes is intentional. He doesn't beg for opportunities, he creates them. He doesn't seek validation, he demands respect. That energy is magnetic. People feel it. That's why the powerful attract money, while the weak repel it. Weak energy says, "Please give me a chance." Powerful energy says, "You need me." Weakness seeks comfort, power creates opportunity. That's the difference between a man chasing money and a man attracting it. The man with a wealth mindset doesn't ask, "How do I make money?" He asks, "How do I become someone money can't ignore?" Because money flows to value, and value flows from power. You can't be valuable if you can't control yourself. You can't lead others if you can't lead your own life. You can't build wealth if you can't even build discipline. Most people want to skip the foundation. They want success without substance. They want wealth without the mindset of power. And that's why when money finally reaches them, they lose it. Because money magnifies who you are. If you're weak, it will expose you. If you're powerful, it will expand you. To build real wealth, you have to stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like a creator. Consumers chase what others made. Creators build what others chase. You'll never build power by constantly spending, comparing, and copying. You build power by learning, producing, and leading. Power is developed when you make things happen without waiting for permission. When you stop saying, "I wish I could," and start saying, "I will," that's when money starts listening. The universe rewards the man who moves with purpose. The marketplace rewards the man who moves with confidence. Understand this: power is not arrogance. Power is certainty. It's knowing exactly who you are and what you stand for. Most men crumble because they don't believe they deserve wealth. They've been told their whole lives that wanting power is evil. That ambition is greed, that dominance is toxic. And so they suppress their fire, they play small, they apologize for wanting more. That's why they stay broke, because the world rewards conviction, not apology. The man who stands firm in his purpose becomes unstoppable. The man who hesitates becomes invisible. Wealth is a game of energy and control. When you walk into a room, people should feel your presence before you even speak. When you make decisions, they should come from logic, not desperation. Desperation repels wealth. Confidence attracts it. You must train yourself to never need anything from anyone. Neediness is weakness, and weakness smells. It makes people avoid you, distrust you, look down on you. But when you move with abundance, when you project power, opportunities chase you because you look like someone who can handle them. The wealth mindset is about responsibility. Weak men blame the system, the government, their past. Powerful men take full ownership of their outcomes. They understand that no one's coming to save them. They know that every result in their life, good or bad, was created by their own decisions. That mindset makes them dangerous. Because once you realize you're the only one responsible for your reality, you also realize you can shape it however you want. That's where power begins. Power also means emotional control. The average man loses money because he reacts instead of responds. He gets emotional, greedy, impulsive. He buys things to look rich instead of doing the work to become rich. He gets jealous of others' success instead of learning from it. A powerful man doesn't react, he calculates. He plays the long game. He invests his time, his energy, and his effort like a general planning a war. That's how wealth is built, not through luck, but through power-driven decisions executed with discipline. When you start moving with power, everything changes. People treat you differently. They listen when you speak. They respect your time. They see value in your presence. That's because you've shifted your frequency. You no longer emit weakness. You no longer speak from need. You speak from strength, from certainty, from abundance. That's when the world opens up. That's when the money starts coming to you. You must stop idolizing wealth and start embodying it. Stop praying for success and start becoming the type of man success naturally gravitates toward. Stop chasing rich people's lifestyles and start building rich habits. True wealth isn't what you have, it's what you command. It's the power to make things happen. It's the freedom to say no. It's the control over your time, your health, your choices, and your future. That's real wealth. That's power. And when you finally understand that money follows power, everything changes. You stop chasing, you start creating. You stop begging, you start building. You stop hoping, you start becoming. Because once you become powerful in mind, money becomes just another tool, a reflection of the man you've built from the inside out. Distraction is the modern poison that's killing greatness. It's silent, it's constant, and it's everywhere. You don't even realize how much it controls you because it disguises itself as entertainment, relaxation, connection. But make no mistake, distraction is the enemy of progress. Every notification, every scroll, every useless conversation is stealing your future. You think you're in control of your time, but you're not. Your attention has been hijacked. You wake up, and the first thing you do is check your phone, your messages, your feeds. You've trained your brain to chase stimulation instead of purpose. That's why you can't focus. That's why you can't execute. That's why you feel lost. The world is designed to keep you distracted because a distracted man can't build power. And without power, You're easy to control. You need to understand that focus is the new currency. In a world where everyone's distracted, the man who can stay locked in becomes unstoppable. The man who can sit in silence and work without needing validation becomes dangerous, because focus multiplies effort. One focused hour is worth more than 10 distracted ones. But here's the problem: you've built a life that feeds distraction. You surround yourself with noise, with chaos, with people who talk more than they act. You've made your phone your best friend and your dreams your afterthought. That's why your results don't match your potential. You have the ability to win, but you're wasting your attention on things that don't matter. You've got to start guarding your focus like your life depends on it, because it does. Focus builds empires. Focus creates wealth. Focus separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. You can't complain about not having time when you waste hours scrolling, gossiping, or consuming garbage that doesn't serve your mission. Time isn't your problem, attention is. You can't build anything of value when your mind is constantly switching between distractions. Your focus is like a muscle. The more you let it weaken, the harder it becomes to control. But when you train it, when you discipline it, you gain access to a level of clarity and power most men will never experience. Think about how many times you've lost a day to distraction. You said you'd work on your goals, but instead you got pulled into the endless black hole of social media. You said you'd learn a new skill, but you spent hours watching people who already have what you want. You said you'd build discipline, but you kept checking your phone every 5 minutes. You're not lazy, you're distracted. Your energy is being spread too thin across too many meaningless things. Focus is about elimination. It's about cutting out everything that doesn't serve your purpose, no matter how tempting it feels. Because distractions are not just killing your time, they're killing your identity. Every moment you waste on nonsense is a moment you could have spent building the life you keep dreaming about. The truth is, distraction feels good because it's easy. It gives you short bursts of pleasure and tricks your brain into thinking you're doing something. But deep down, you know it's fake progress. You know it's avoidance. You distract yourself so you don't have to face the discomfort of growth. You'd rather escape reality than improve it. That's why most people live their entire lives stuck in loops of meaningless activity. They keep themselves busy being unproductive. The strong, however, have a different mindset. They don't chase stimulation, they chase mastery. They don't waste time, they weaponize it. They treat focus like a sacred ritual, something that must never be compromised. You have to train yourself to be ruthless with your attention. Cut off the noise. Limit your access to anything that doesn't make you stronger, smarter, or richer. Stop watching other people's lives and start building your own. Silence the constant flood of distractions that keep you average. You can't expect to build an extraordinary life with an ordinary level of focus. You have to create an environment where distraction can't survive. That means no meaningless scrolling, no constant notifications, no energy wasted on drama. Every distraction is a test, and every time you choose focus, you strengthen your mind. When you start mastering focus, something incredible happens. The fog in your brain clears. You start seeing things differently. You stop reacting to every little thing and start responding with precision. You stop feeling overwhelmed because you've simplified your priorities. You no longer chase 10 things. Halfway, you chase one thing all the way. That's when you start building momentum. That's when results begin to stack. The world belongs to the men who can lock in, not to those who scatter their attention. The world rewards intensity, not inconsistency. You have to fall in love with deep work. You have to crave that tunnel vision where time disappears and all that exists is progress. When you're focused, you enter a state of flow where your actions feel effortless, your thoughts are sharp, and your confidence grows with every move. That's where mastery happens. That's where wealth is built. That's where transformation begins. You'll realize that focus isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters most with everything you've got. The truth is, distraction is the biggest reason most men die average. It's not lack of opportunity, it's lack of attention. They keep blaming circumstances when the real problem is self-control. You can't build power if your mind is scattered. You can't build wealth if your focus is fragmented. Every empire in history was built by men who could focus longer, harder, and deeper than anyone else. So if you want to rise, you must destroy distraction completely. You must reclaim your attention, because your attention creates your reality. Whatever you focus on grows. If you focus on weakness, it multiplies. If you focus on discipline, it strengthens. If you focus on success, it manifests. The man who controls his focus controls his future. Every man talks about wanting success, but very few build the systems required to sustain it. You see, motivation is temporary. Emotion fades. Inspiration disappears. What separates the men who win from those who only dream is structure. The ones who dominate life don't rely on feeling ready, they rely on the systems they've built. Because systems don't care about how you'd feel. Systems don't care about mood swings, distractions, or laziness. Systems produce results whether you're tired, bored, or uninspired. And that's why they win. Most people lose because they live by emotion, not execution. They wake up and decide what to do based on how they feel. That's a losing formula. You will never build wealth, power, or success if your daily actions depend on motivation. Winners don't operate like that. Winners create systems so powerful that even on their worst day, they still move forward. A system is what keeps you sharp when your mind wants to quit. It's what keeps you growing when others are slowing down. Systems make progress automatic. And once you make progress automatic, success becomes inevitable. Excuses, on the other hand, are the poison that kills your potential. Excuses are easy because they let you justify your weakness. You tell yourself you don't have time, you don't have the right tools, you don't have the right people around you. But deep down, you know the truth. Your problem isn't lack of resources, it's lack of discipline. You keep searching for external reasons when the real barrier is internal. Every time you make an excuse, you reinforce the habit of failure. You train your mind to settle. You tell yourself it's okay to be average. And that's how weakness wins. Building systems means taking control of your life at every level. It means designing your day so that success is no longer optional, it's inevitable. You wake up at the same time every day, not because you feel like it, but because it's part of your system. You hit the gym not for motivation, but because it's scheduled into your identity. You allocate time for work, learning, and execution because you've structured your environment for progress. That's how you eliminate chaos. That's how you create consistency. And consistency is the foundation of greatness. Think about any high-level performer, athletes, entrepreneurs, soldiers, leaders. They don't rely on motivation, they rely on systems. A fighter doesn't train because he feels like it. He trains because it's his system to survive and win. A businessman doesn't close deals because he's in the mood. He does it because it's part of his structure. Every successful person you admire has built invisible systems behind their success. Systems for health, for learning, for execution, for wealth. You see the results, but you don't see the discipline that produced them. That's the difference between dreamers and doers. You can't expect to rise if you're still operating on randomness. You need to automate your discipline. That means creating habits so strong that success becomes your default setting. When you systemize your life, you eliminate the friction that keeps you stuck. You don't waste time deciding what to do, you already know. You don't negotiate with laziness, you've already decided your actions. Every system you build becomes a shield against weakness. It's what keeps you grounded when life throws chaos your way. Excuses destroy systems. Every time you make one, you weaken the structure that could have built your empire. You've got to stop giving yourself permission to lose. You have to become allergic to excuses. The truth is, no one cares why you didn't win. No one cares about your reasons. The world only respects results, and systems produce results. You either build systems that push you toward success or excuses that pull you toward failure. There's no middle ground. Building systems also means mastering your environment. You can't expect to stay disciplined in a place that feeds your weakness. If your environment is full of distractions, your system will collapse. You need to design everything around you to support your mission. That means your workspace, your habits, your circle, even your routines. The more control you have over your environment, the less willpower you need. Systems remove the need for constant decision making. They create flow. They create direction. That's how you go from chaos to control. The reality is, systems create freedom. Most people think discipline restricts them, but it's the opposite. Discipline liberates you from uncertainty. When your life runs on systems, You no longer waste energy deciding what to do, you just execute. That's when progress becomes effortless. That's when results compound. Because every small, consistent action, repeated through systems, builds massive long-term success. Wealth doesn't come from one big decision, it comes from thousands of small ones made consistently through structure and repetition. Excuses, though, are seductive. They make you feel justified in your weakness. They tell you it's okay to wait, to pause, to rest. But you can't build an empire on excuses. You can't buy freedom with justification. You either make moves or you make excuses. You can't do both. Every time you choose comfort over discipline, you trade your future for temporary ease. Every time you delay action, you weaken the system that could have made you unstoppable. You need to become obsessed with optimization. Every part of your life should serve a purpose. Every action should connect to your mission. If something doesn't push you closer to your goal, it has no place in your system. Simplicity is power. Cut out everything unnecessary. Streamline your process. Build habits that align with your vision. When you operate like that, you eliminate the chaos that keeps others stuck. You stop reacting and start dominating. The truth is, your success will always reflect the quality of your systems. If your systems are weak, your results will be weak. If your systems are strong, your results will be inevitable. You can't control luck, you can't control opportunity, but you can control your structure. Systems create momentum. Momentum creates consistency. Consistency creates wealth. The men who build systems don't need to hope, they execute. They don't need motivation, they move with precision. They don't chase success, they engineer it. Because when you build systems and destroy excuses, success stops being a dream and starts becoming your daily routine. At the end of the day, everything you've ever wanted, power, respect, wealth, freedom, comes down to one thing: your ability to kill weakness before it kills your potential. Weakness hides in your comfort, in your distractions, in your excuses, in your emotional reactions. It disguises itself as patience, as rest, as self-care. But in truth, it's stealing your future piece by piece. You don't rise by avoiding pain. You rise by mastering it. You don't build wealth by wishing for it. You build it by killing every habit, every excuse, every soft thought that stands in your way. The world doesn't reward average men. It rewards the disciplined, the relentless, the focused, the ones who refuse to bow down to their emotions, the ones who wake up hungry even when they're tired, the ones who treat every day as a battle for dominance over themselves. Because wealth isn't about money, it's about power. Power over your mind, your time, your energy, your focus. When you master that, money follows, success follows, freedom follows. You have to understand, nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is going to hand you greatness. You have to take it. You have to earn it. You have to fight for it every single day. The weak man waits for opportunity. The strong man creates it. The weak man talks about change. The strong man becomes it. Kill the weakness that makes you hesitate, the fear that makes you doubt, the laziness that makes you comfortable. Replace it with structure, with focus, with systems that make progress inevitable. This world belongs to the men who are unshakable, the ones who don't flinch when life hits them, the ones who adapt, rebuild, and come back stronger every time they fall. Your mission isn't to survive, it's to dominate. Your mission isn't to hope, it's to execute. The weak complain, the strong create. The weak get distracted, the strong stay locked in. The weak wish, the strong build. You decide which one you'll be. Because once you kill your weakness, you'll unlock a version of yourself that is unstoppable. A man who commands his mind, his money, his destiny. A man who doesn't fold under pressure but thrives in it. That man is inside you right now, waiting to be unleashed. The moment you destroy the excuses, silence the distractions, and commit to your system, that's when your transformation begins. That's when you stop existing and start living with purpose. That's when you stop chasing wealth and start attracting it. Kill your weakness. Build your discipline, build your focus, build your wealth, build your legacy, because once you do, nothing and no one can stop you.